Hey, Friendo, Steve here.
And Larson.
And welcome back to Going in Raw, the only pro wrestling podcast you need to be listening to. On today's episode, we've got your rundown on last night's Monday Night Raw with new tag champions. Which tag champions, say you? I don't know. We're going to find out in the show. I mean, I do know, but
yeah,
I'm not going to tell you guys yet. You can look at the thumbnail.
It's in the thumbnail, Steve.
It's in the thumbnail if you're watching on YouTube. If you're in the audio realm, you're flying blind, baby. Sorry. But first, let's talk about this. MJF, of course, used to refer to the bidding war of 2024 on AEW programming. Of course, his contract was allegedly coming up at the beginning of 2024. And, he'd tease, am I going to stay with AEW? Am I going to go to WWE? Hasn't been a lot of talk about that lately on AEW programming, but during a recent appearance on the Sports Illustrated Media podcast, MJF stated that he is still slated to be a free agent at the beginning of 2024. SI Media host Jimmy Tana asked Traina. Oh, sorry, there's no R there. Traina.
Sorry, my bad.
It's a silent R. Asked the reigning AEW World Champion if he signed a new deal with the company, to which MJF responded, and these transcripts come to you via WrestleZone. Not yet. I've been saying the same thing. I never lied. On January 1st, 2024, when stuff like that gets leaked out, it makes me laugh because I remember something getting leaked out about Cody secretly re-signed, and then he showed up in WWE. Something leaked about CM Punk and Tony Khan are actually fine. I think fans leak out things that they want to be true. I love AEW. I want to stay in AEW. After this pay-per-view, it's time to assess the situation in a professional setting. Larson, why is he lying to us? He totally signed an extension back when he came back, didn't he?
Here, let's jump ahead to this, because House of Wrestling, after MJF's appearance on SI Media Podcast, reached out to sources within WWE regarding MJF's comments. And one higher-up responded to House of Wrestling, one word. It's their response. It was one word. Storyline. Mm-hmm. Another source within WWE reiterated that they had heard Friedman had re-signed last year and believe it happened before his return at All Out 2022 as the Devil. They wanted to say that Friedman is locked in and got a huge deal when he renegotiated his contract with Tony Khan last year. I remember last year when obviously there was a bit of a falling out between MJF and Tony Khan regarding the contract situation. When he came back, we said in the sports world, it's usual that if someone renegotiates an extension while their current deal is still in effect, usually, a vast majority of the time, there's extra years put on that deal. It's very rare that someone is able to renegotiate a deal without adding more years to it in the sports world. I understand the world of pro wrestling, it's a little different, but given that Tony Khan is from the sports world, his family owns the Jacksonville Jaguars, Fulham FC, that might be his outlook on things as well. So if he did renegotiate his deal prior to returning as the Devil All Out 2022, it wouldn't shock me if part of those renegotiations meant he had years added to the deal at a substantially more dollar amount,
Yeah, I mean, everything you said, it makes a lot of sense. And when I say, why is MJF lying to us, I use that in a very lighthearted way.
Kayfabe, Steve, kayfabe.
So, wrestlers are well known to do that, especially MJF, a guy who, now that he's a good guy, have you noticed that his interviews on, doing media appearances and stuff, he's a good guy. And back when he was a bad guy, his media appearances were quite contentious, always a little bit on the tongue-in-cheek side because he understood he was there to promote stuff. But MJF is probably one of the wrestlers to most effectively utilize the concept of kayfabe, Larson.
Here's something else to consider. He's got this title match coming up at World's End. If it's announced in advance, he's locked into an extension with AEW. He's going to keep him there till 2025 or something like that. There's a little bit of intrigue going into that match, assuming that we're on the understanding that he could be a free agent 2 days after that match, that there's a distinct possibility he loses. Whereas if it's announced in advance that he is staying in AEW, the chances of him losing drastically go down.
In that respect, I'm kind of surprised that he hasn't. And I understand that the bidding war of 2024 was very much played up in, a heel role with him. And I suspect that's why that chatter has died down. Plus, if it is storyline, you don't want to confuse one storyline with another if you're trying to tell this Devil/Adam Cole thing. I do think that it could be effectively used as part of the build to Worlds Collide. He might be thinking, is this the place for me anymore? What happens at Worlds Collide might dictate, if you infuse it with some storyline, might dictate where I want to sign. Or is AEW, the still the place for me to be? He also talked about Cody's recent comments that he expected Max to come to WWE at some point. MJF responded, these transcripts come to you via Fightful this time, says, I don't know why I saw fans absolutely shitting on him when all he was saying was his opinion. It's an opinion. I pray to God I don't get lambasted online for some of the opinions I'm doing in this interview. I just feel like everything's so radicalized now and hyperbolic now. That's why there's certain aspects about social media I love. I think it brings people of the same like-mindedness together. I think it allows people to find their own communities. But what I hate about some of the social media, I find that hate-mongering and fear-mongering is the stuff that gets pushed the most. It's because of the sensationalist stuff that people start believing in the sensationalized stuff and the hyperbolic stuff. I can't relate to it. I'm a straight shooter. I say it like it is 110% of the time. Cody Rhodes felt that way, and Cody Rhodes' mind and opinion, that was his way of putting over a friend, a prodigy, a former coworker, former protege. I guess I shouldn't say former. I still talk to Cody to this day. He's a great guy. He's doing great things over there. I'm doing great things over here. Of course, we want MJF in our company. Who the fuck wouldn't want me in their company? I'm the best thing going today. I'm the AEW World Champion. Nobody dresses like me, talks like me, looks like me, walks like me, wrestles like me. Take it as a compliment. I think AEW fans should take it as a compliment too, because that means that their world champion, their face of the company, is a hot commodity. So that's the only way I feel it should be looked at. So, yeah, I mean, he's spot on about social media. It's a double-edged sword. There's plenty of good and just tons of bad about it.
Yep.
But, that aside, yeah, I mean, I'd also be kind of surprised, to be honest with you, if Tony Khan this late into the year still had MJF basically as the main character of his entire promotion, which he is, with the idea that, well, he could be gone in 2 months.
Not even that. He could be gone in 2 weeks.
Yeah, I didn't know. Like, if, you never know if there'd be like time added or whatever. But I mean, if the idea was January 1st, then 2 days after the pay-per-view that he's going to headline, he could be gone.
Yep.
I'd be kind of surprised if he did that. This guy. Look, I know Tony Khan he's well aware of the history of wrestling being, involving all sorts of handshake deals and doing things on the fly. But these days, I don't know if you want to do that. I don't know if that's, you got your world champion and then 2 days later he's showing up on the other guy's program.
Yeah, you don't want to do that.
Yeah, I don't know if you want to do that. But yeah, I don't know. I think that he's doing really terrific work right now, and I think AEW needs him. Yeah. And I think he's still incredibly young. He's got obviously just a really sharp mind, and yeah, I think at some point it'd be kind of surprising if he didn't land in WWE, but I don't think it's going to be 2024.
Yeah, I don't think so either. Steve, let's look ahead to 2024 because obviously WWE is looking past the Christmas Day edition of Raw.
Yeah,
heard it's going to be a recap show, but I don't know if that's the case.
That'd be, I mean, yeah, because they're giving everybody the week off.
The week off, up
to
until
be with
the day
their
after
family,
Christmas, yeah.
Which is awesome.
Yep.
And yeah, a clip show. Sign me up. What do you think the rating is going to be for a clip show, Larson? Not that they
not
care.
Great.
I'm just
no,
saying.
Not great, but again, they don't care because they're loading up day one. Day one is almost like a pay-per-view quality card.
It is. Yeah.
You got Seth and Drew for the world title. You got Becky and Nia Jax. I know they announced Ivy Nile versus Rhea Ripley.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
It's a loaded card.
Yeah.
And since there hasn't been a pay-per-view since Survivor Series, there's not going to be another one until the end of January with the Rumble.
Mm-hmm.
It's kind of cool that they're doing this themed, a super card of Raw going on New Year's Day when, in theory, a lot of people are going to be home.
Should we wrap our predictions up with Worlds Collide and Day One?
I suppose we could.
I think it might not be a terrible idea. Add some.
The question is, are we going to do a reaction stream to Day One?
I was thinking about that during the show when everybody kept on, talking about it. I was like, oh man, they're loading this thing up. Things could definitely happen. I'm down. I'm down. I should be down. I doubt I'll still be hungover. Chances are.
I'll probably be not even close.
You think you're gonna make it to the countdown?
No,
probably not, huh?
No, yeah. I haven't done that in a few years.
What time do you usually go to bed? Like in general?
Sometime between 10:30 and 11.
Okay. Sometimes like 11:30, I'll text you something. I'm like, he's not gonna get this.
Yeah,
but I do it anyways. God damn it.
Yeah. No. If you text me, generally after 10:30, if you text me, I'm like, I'm gonna save that for the morning.
Because we're gonna do Worlds Collide on the 3rd. So here's a programming note.
World's End, not Worlds Collide.
World's End. I keep on calling it Worlds Collide. So programming note. Next week, because Christmas is
Monday.
Monday.
Yeah.
So next week we're taking off. We do have a bunch of stuff going up on YouTube and in the audio realm. Sort of wrap up all the year stuff. And then we'll be back for World's End / Worlds Collide. We'll do the recap for that, and then we'll take New Year's Eve off, come back New Year's Day, and at 5:00 we'll do a Day One thing.
Yeah, we'll have our predictions for 2024. We'll be up New Year's Day, first thing in the morning, and then we'll do the watch along for Day One.
Yeah, that sounds cool. Sounds like a good plan.
Back to normal after that.
And then another 51 weeks.
Guaranteed work. Maybe we'll get a long weekend here and there, but otherwise.
Yeah, right. Oh, man.
We generally take the 4th of July off. We'll generally take that day off.
Yeah, we take the 4th of July. Take the 4th of July off. Yeah. We take our fair share of days off, man. So that's just the trade-off for doing what we're doing. Exactly. I always think about that. I'm always like, you know what, man? I get to anytime my kid has something, if it's during the day, a little award show or whatever during the day, or whatever, it's like, hey, I get to go deal with that shit. Yep. It's just the trade-off,
It is. It really is.
So let's talk about Monday Night Raw as well. So we've got Miz versus Gunther, killer match.
Yeah, really good.
Really good match.
Pay-per-view quality match, yeah.
Pay-per-view quality match. And I love this thing with Gunther. Gunther's in that great spot where he's in a really great spot because all of his wins come clean, and yet he's a bad guy.
Mm-hmm.
And they're not quite yet where the crowd wants him to be good. The crowd really just wants him to dominate fools.
Yeah, well, during his entrance last night, there was a number of people that were on their feet cheering for Gunther.
They're starting to appreciate the guy. Yeah.
And he's doing this week, he was, normally during matches, he's focused on beating people up.
Mm-hmm, yeah.
It's not very often that we see him talk crap in the ring. And last night he was making fun of the Miz, his big balls.
Yeah.
Talking to him in German.
Dropped a straight up Rainmaker on Miz too.
Yeah, he did.
It's funny because I was looking at WWE's Instagram because it's on my feed or whatever, and the finish to that match was on there, and I looked at the comments and the amount of people who are so loving the fact, and more wrestlers should do this, that he doesn't have a real finisher. He uses a number. Usually it's these days like a combo of things. It could be a clothesline. It could be his powerbomb, which he uses a lot. He could tap people out.
Yeah.
He is so the perfect pro wrestler in there. It's so much fun to watch. Do you make anything about or do you take anything away from him using that Rainmaker, Larson? They bringing Okada in.
I mean, for the longest time, people were like, "Oh, the references, CM Punk references in WWE programming. Don't make anything of it." And then he shows up,
and then he's there, right?
So,
Gunther versus Okada. I mean,
something else.
Jesus Christ!
Give them a half hour,
right?
Make some magic at WrestleMania.
At WrestleMania? Oh my God, that'd be nuts.
And if WWE's going to show us that they're going to book Okada to the level they should, have him beat Gunther in his first match.
I mean, if there's anybody out there who could do that, I'd be like, oh yeah, who should beat Gunther for the Intercontinental Championship? Okada? Yeah, okay. That kind of works for me as long as Gunther then goes up to the World Heavyweight Championship.
Absolutely. Yeah, then he's got to be next in line for the World Heavyweight title, yeah.
To win it, yeah. Speaking of which, what do you think of Drew McIntyre's promo on Seth Rollins?
I thought it was really good.
Same.
You know, it's not like he's some mustache twirling villain. You know,
Yes.
It's very rooted in his humanity.
Yeah, it is. Yeah.
He said to Seth was, I've been away from home for 16 years.
Yeah.
I've missed birthdays. I've been away from family members when they've been sick. And I need to beat you to prove to me that it was all worth it.
Yeah. Yeah.
And I'm going to do whatever it takes to beat you, because essentially he can't live with the feeling that he's been gone for 16 years and effectively for, in his mind, nothing.
Mm-hmm.
Like, he needs that title win in front of the crowd.
Yeah.
He needs that title win in front of fans. Anything short of that, I think, for him is not enough. So there's going to be a level of potentially desperation for Drew coming up at day one that we haven't seen yet, because Seth, again, echoing something Hangman Page said to CM Punk, said, I pity you.
Mm-hmm.
I pity you. And that didn't make Drew very happy. He doesn't want anybody's pity.
Well, when you say a line like, I'm looking at the notes here from Chris Garrick. Shout out to Chris Garrick for dropping our notes here. When he says, when a family member did he lose? I forget. Did he lose a parent, Drew? Was it his? Did he lose his dad? He says, when a family member
promo like his grandmother, I thought.
When a family member or parent gets sick, our mom, our dad, all we want to be is beside them and holding their hand while they go through it. They tell us, don't you dare come home, chase that dream. That's what we did, but suddenly they aren't there anymore.
Yeah.
And then Seth...
So Bandage says his mom.
Okay. And then Seth has the audacity to finger wag him. Seth had I don't know if this is... I don't know if the performer understands how unlikable he comes off as a character when he finger wags. And maybe that's the genius of this promo here. Maybe that's the point, is they want that ambiguity.
Yeah.
They want that gray area, because Drew isn't your typical heel. Heels don't talk about losing parents like actual fleshed out characters do.
Yep.
With like real world motivations.
Yep.
And so Seth says something like, you want to shift the blame. You'll do whatever it takes. You'll do everything except the one thing you need to be champion. Take responsibility for your actions. Why don't you just say, pull up your bootstraps? You know what I mean?
I know.
It's so condescending.
It is.
But therein lies, the effectiveness of the promo is you want people. Honestly, the best matches are those, in my opinion, where you got like a split crowd. You're excited either way, but you kind of want Drew to win especially after a promo like this. He talks about losing a parent. Oh my God.
Yeah.
That's
to
good
pursue his
stuff.
dream, and now he needs to win to make it all seem worth it.
To make it make sense.
Yeah.
To make it make sense, which is what we all want in this world. Hey, let me speaking of making sense, pivoting away from that, what do you think of the blurry Yeet shirt?
Either it's kind of a funny joke,
Yeah.
or it's kind of a lame way to get around potential trademark issues.
It's the stupid, just call it what is this, the stupidest thing I've ever seen in my life.
Here's the thing.
It gives me a damn headache.
I know, because at first I was like, are they cut out some technology where they're able to pixelate this in real time?
Right, yeah.
I was like, no, that's not, they can't do that.
Yeah.
And I'm like, they really selling a blurry Yeet shirt? But here you go on WWE Shop, and you can still find the unblurred Yeet shirts. You can still buy them. So it makes me feel like it's just a gag.
I think it is. I wonder if, wait, you could buy the blurry one though, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. I wonder if maybe, it's gotta be just a joke. If they were gonna leave Yeet behind, they just wouldn't have done this at all.
Exactly.
I thought maybe they'd, maybe be referencing, maybe they had this lined up if they were gonna get rid of it. But no, it's a hilarious joke. As a shirt, this thing should sell zero units. I
mean, you wear it out in public and people are walking up to you and they're trying to squint to make out what it says because it's blurry.
Oh, it's horrible. It makes me want to do a going in Raw shirt like that.
Yeah, I know.
Just to see what the reaction is. It's so bad, but it is really funny.
Steve, can you design a going in Raw blurry shirt that looks like you have an astigmatism? Can you do that?
Yeah, right. Here's our short-sighted one.
This is what Larson sees on shirts when he wakes up in the morning.
Here, feel like if you understand what it is to be nearsighted here.
Exactly.
Put on this shirt right here.
Exactly.
Yeah, that's good. And then man, let's talk about angry Damian Priest. Like legit angry Damian Priest.
Yeah,
Larson, when are they gonna get rid of the Brutus bomb?
Yeah.
I called this weeks ago. It's horrible. That move is terrible. It is a recipe for absolute disaster.
That's what it is. As a move, aesthetically, whatever, it's fine. But given that Brutus has no control over where he lands, it's only a matter of time before someone gets hurt and potentially hurt badly. Like he landed on Priest's head last night.
Yeah.
Not like he made contact and on impact to the mat. Kind of landed on Priest's head, and Priest was holding his head after the match for the finish. That's where he got his bell rung pretty good.
Yeah.
It just seems like a matter of time before whoever he hits it on gets hurt. He gets hurt because he can't control his landing.
I can't think of a smooth one. Like this has been every single time they've had a match. We've talked about the finish and how like it almost fucks a person up.
Yeah.
And then to add insult to injury, Julius Creed ate the pin and basically kicked out at 3. At like 2.99, this guy kicks out and the match is over. Man. And Priest looks, man, I've never seen Priest look like Priest, honest to God. And you've had personal experience offering him a donut. Seems like the coolest cat. Seems like the night
super mellow.
Yeah, like him laughing at R-Truth last night when he was trying to hold it together was the sweetest thing. It's very charming, right? He gave Julius the look of death on that kick out and said something to him. Oh man. Yeah. And then they cut to Ivy Nile, who's supposed to look upset, but you can tell there was that extra layer of, oh man, my dude fucked up. Oh man. So yeah, we'll talk about all that here in a second, Larson, but first we're going to pay some bills. What do you say?
Let's do it.
All right. Let me get to the thing here. And I gotta go. I was on to the main event. Here we go. This episode of Going in Raw is sponsored by BetterHelp. You know, Larson.
What's that, Steve?
The holiday season is all about giving. And regardless if you get gifts or not from your loved ones, you get to define how you give to yourself. So whether you treat yourself to a day of rest to recharge, go easy on yourself during tough moments, or decide to start therapy, remember to give yourself some love this holiday season.
Yeah, back in my mid-20s, I found myself in a tough spot after I started dealing with severe anxiety. It got bad enough that I was faced with a decision. Was I going to allow my anxiety to get in the way of my happiness, or was I going to go to therapy so I could start learning the tools that I needed to better cope with that anxiety? And it took me a couple of tries, but I eventually found a therapist I felt comfortable talking to, and therapy got me back on a path to live in a happier, more productive life.
So if you're thinking of starting therapy, give BetterHelp a try. It's entirely online and designed to be convenient, flexible, and suited for your schedule. All you got to do to get started is fill out a brief questionnaire to get matched with a licensed therapist, and then you can switch therapists at any time for no additional charge.
In the season of giving, give yourself what you need with BetterHelp. Visit BetterHelp.com/raw today to get 10% off your first month. That's BetterHelp. HELP.com/raw.
Larson, you and I are goal-oriented people here at Going in Raw. And we had a goal. Yeah, we had a goal for the longest time.
Yeah.
And it was 198,891
We
subs.
did that.
Now, we did that. Here's the thing. We've been stuck now at 198,921 for like 24 hours. We need everybody who's watching this on YouTube or even on Twitch. If you got a Google account. Google.
I mean, who doesn't?
Everybody does. It's like mandatory now. You shoot out your mom and then
you get a birth certificate, government mandated Google account. Yes,
right, exactly. So we need you guys to hit that subscribe button because we now have a new goal. It's 199,991 subs, which is only a hair's length away from 200,002, which is they're all palindromes. We love these palindromes.
We love the palindrome. Steve, what's your favorite palindrome in the whole world?
Easy, it's boob. What about you? What's yours?
I mean, that's a good one. I'm going to go with poop.
Poop is a good one. It's a very different thing. So we're trying to get to 198 and 991. So please do us a solid. Hit that subscribe button. Hit the notify bell. And if
we already did 198, 891. We're trying to go to 199, 991.
Oh, that's what I said. 199, 991. That's what we're trying to get to.
I was only half paying attention.
All right. They sound kind of similar if you're not paying attention. Also, we've got 455 people watching right now and 108 likes. 20% is not terrible. That's not terrible. But let's get to 50%.
But it's not good enough for us, Steve.
Yeah, exactly. We're goal-oriented people. We want 50%. So hit that like button. Hit that thumbs up. Let's get to 50% live.
Because you know what happens if we don't get there?
Oh,
Steve gets angry.
You thought Seth was condescending yesterday? Oh,
you don't want to hear Steve when he starts
come out.
Wagging the finger.
Oh man, don't make me bring out the finger here. This little sausage finger of mine. Yeah, don't do that. So yeah, do that also. Of course, we've got bonus content, question threads, and access to our Big Blue Predictions Challenge with the Friendo Club setup. There's 2 ways to get it. Click the join button on YouTube or go to patreon.com/Steven Larson, and you guys can get access to the Friendo Club setup. It's much like the Tribal Chief setup, but that's for one man. That's for one person, Roman Reigns, not for Seth Rollins. Seth Rollins, luckily, can get access to the Friendo Club setup. It's $5 a month. Speaking of which, Steve Kuharski, the latest Friendo Club member, now for 6 months, I should say, he re-upped. Says it's been 6 years since my cousin Danielle passed away, and I got to say, you guys have really given me a nice escape for most of it. Thank you, guys. Well, our condolences. You know, sometimes it takes a long time to heal from something like that. So glad to be here for you.
Yep. Jay Patterson here with the Super Chat says, I think the Continental Classic is predictable. Why would an AEW talent win it when it's Ring of Honor title? So we'll know Kingston will win.
Well, here's the thing, though. There's the Triple Crown Championship, and that's going to be an AEW thing.
Yes.
So there's a new title. Do you remember, man, we missed a Super Chat yesterday, and I feel bad about it. And I forget who it was. I can find it here. See if you can find the one from yesterday. That'd be awesome.
It was. I see the name. I'll know it.
It was like $1.99, I think, and we missed it yesterday. We went off the air.
Yes.
So we'll try to find that one for you guys. There it is. We got
Cletus Smith the fourth.
What a great name.
It's a good name. Would you buy more or sell your stock in AEW?
That's right. I remember that question. Yeah. So right now it's sort of low. So I would say buy. I'd say buy. It's probably a value price right now.
Yeah. If it's a good value proposition, why not?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, absolutely. Raw kicked off with a holiday version of the Raw intro video. And, of course, because they run Monday Night Raw, and they have for the entirety of 2023, Judgment Day comes out. JD is looking extra Judgment Day as well.
Yeah.
He's got a bandana. He's got his hair all done up.
He's got his cut on.
He's got the cut on. He's got a Finn Balor shirt and then like a Judgment Day shirt, for, down low or whatever.
Yeah, they all kind of have the tucked in shirts, not wearing them, but like tucked into their pants. Yeah.
So Priest says, "Welcome to Monday Night Raw, but more importantly, all rise for the Judgment Day." And then Finn says, "Creed brothers, congratulations! You ran the gauntlet and became the #1 contenders against me and my man Damian Priest. For you, the biggest match of your career. For you, probably the biggest night of your life. For us, it's just another night at the office because you're stepping in the ring with the only 2-time undisputed tag team champions of the world." Yeah.
Your Finn's getting pretty good there.
Yeah, that was a good one. It's I never know if it's going to come out all right.
It's like your Meltzer, huh?
Oh, yeah, the Meltzer, yeah. Sometimes I literally sound like that AI version of Dave Meltzer. Sometimes I just sound like Steve.
Yeah.
So Rhea says, Ivy Nile, run your mouth again, and I'll make what I did to Maxine pale in comparison to what I did to you. It's as simple as this. Judgment Day ran 2023 and will continue to run 2024. Then Dom gets booed a lot.
Yeah. Yes. As he tries to say Judgment Day runs all of WWE, then R-Truth music hits. He comes to the ring. He says, "Guys, hold up. Wait a minute. Y'all left me. I didn't know we were going to open the show. I love opening the show. Des Moines, Iowa, what's up? welcome to Monday Night Raw. And JD says, what the hell are you doing out here? And Truth says, I'm in Judgment Day now, dog. And so Dom and JD get mad, and Priest is like, all right, I love Priest's attitude. He's like, all right, let's hear him out at least, you know?
Priest likes Truth. He just doesn't like Truth bugging them.
Yes.
Yeah.
So Truth says, the initiation, the beatdown last week, that was my initiation. But I will say I'm not one to complain, but we kind of crossed the line a little bit. I was hurt physically, and I was hurt emotionally. DP, I know you didn't mean it when you said you didn't like me. I saw it in your eyes.
And Priest can't help himself. He keeps on turning away and just laughing. He can't. And it's honestly the cutest thing. So
it is.
JD pipes up and says, Truth, if you're worried about getting hurt, you should get the hell out of this ring right now. And Truth says, look, everybody's looking for a fight. Well, she wants to beat up Ivy. Finn and DP want to beat up on the Creed brothers. I need somebody to beat up on. And he turns to JD. They have a stare off. And Truth says, I look around seeing Christmas trees and lights. There's a lot of animosity between us. So let's squash this beef so we could be a happy family. But let's do it with a Miracle on 34th Street fight. And this is a great little piece of meta here because JD's like, Truth, it's already been advertised. So they set up the fight that's already been advertised.
Yeah.
And then he says as much. He says it's happening. Truth says, oh, we better get going then. 34th Street is a long way from here. And then he says it, but I'm not going to say it because my phone's going to pick up. But he asks his phone, how far away is 34th Street? JD gets mad and says, Truth, you got to be the last guy in the building to know this. It's happening in this ring right now. And for the last time, you're not in Judgment Day. And because Truth has the shirt on that it's like it echoes. I forget what the original shirt was.
Yeah, but it's, Finn and Rhea and Dominic. Yeah,
it's got all the names in that certain font, which they actually made different than the original one. But
yeah,
anyways.
It's not the original font.
And then I think the original is Helvetica, and so Truth has a tape, like a piece of tape on there with our Truth on there, and so they show that, and he's like, and Truth says, "I'm not in Judgment Day if I lose tonight." But you're not, and if you lose either. This is a loser leaves Judgment Day match. And the crowd pops. And Priest is laughing. He says, wait a second. That's a good idea. And Rhea's like, whoa. And he's like, no, this is great. And we should do it. And the crowd pops huge because Priest now sanctions it as loser leaves Judgment Day.
Yeah.
So JD says, fine, it doesn't matter. You're going to need a miracle to beat me anyways. And then they do the match. What's up?
And it's wildly fun. These Miracle on 34th Street fights are usually a fun time.
They're always fun. They really are. You think about it and you're like, it's another silly Christmas match. But no, these are usually pretty damn fun.
They are. They're super fun. And our Truth ends up getting the win here. Truth does the 5 knuckle shuffle. It does the 5 moves of doom as well. It's looking for an AA. JD blocks that, sends our Truth to the floor. He grabs a Christmas tree and throws it into JD because Dom gets out of the way. Truth does. Both men are back in the ring. Truth sets up a table. He heads up top, but JD beats him up there, takes out our Truth, hits some punches, then a headbutt, and he rips off the T-shirt. But when he does that, he pulls momentum, so basically sends himself and Truth through the table, and Truth just lays there, gets the win, and then gets up and realizes what happened. Then JD gets up and realizes what happened.
Yeah.
It was pretty great. Dom's reaction was great.
Yeah.
Everybody sold the moment of that really, really well.
Yeah, it was pretty awesome, yeah. So we see Caden Carter and Katana Chance backstage because they have that tag title match tonight. They say, do you feel the storm coming? It's thunder. No, they say, you feel the storm coming? You better. And Katana says, Kate and I are under our electric sky. Tonight we become the new women's tag team champions. And I'm like, oh. Honestly, like I was talking to Maggie about this last night. I'm like, they just nobody wants to have fun, right? Like they're just having too much fun. That's not realistic. Nobody's having fun right now, Larson.
Man, you're so old and grumpy.
Inflation. It's election year next year.
That's true.
Bad news.
I'm guessing there's a lot of people out there that's like, hey, my goal in life is fun.
Yeah, that'd be nice, but everything else gets in the way. How are these people allowed to have fun,
you're
Larson?
Old, you got responsibility. You're concerned about a number of things happening in the real world.
Even young people are trying to have fun and not able to, man. They got school loan debt. Nobody can buy a house right now.
But Carter and Chance are not those people. They're not school.
Right.
They're professional wrestlers who work 3 days a week.
Mm-hmm.
You got to work Saturday, Sunday, Monday.
Yeah, nobody likes that. They
got 4 days the rest of the week to live it up and have fun.
Yeah,
and here's the thing: if they're not booked on Raw, guess what? They probably only work Saturday and Sunday.
Yep, exactly.
And if there's a huge music festival they really want to go to, they probably call Triple H. Say, hey, Triple H, this fits into our gimmick. This is good for our characters. We want to go to this EDM festival this weekend. Could we do that?
Yeah, exactly.
And Triple H is like, all right, bring your phones and grab some B-roll.
Yeah, exactly.
Because then it's a work thing.
Yeah. It's irritating. Nobody likes that. Nobody else.
Why can't you be happy for people that are enjoying their lives?
Because I don't get to enjoy mine.
Steve, you know what you are?
What?
Cup of haters.
Hey, what we got here? Cup of hater.
Cup of haters.
So before we get that, Mitch, Nia Jax comes out. She likes fun. Becky comes out, though.
I don't think Nia likes fun very much.
Yeah, that's a good point. So Becky's like, where are you going, Nia? You scared, cup of haters? She says, you have a mic and clearly came out to say something. Was it about me? You can say it to my face then. Nia says, as much as I would love to break your face again, I have more important matters to deal with. Before he interrupted me, I was going to say I was entering the Royal Rumble. Becky says, oh, great. Yeah, they care. Just like a dead crowd. They don't care. Do they care you're here right now? No. But they might care that I'm here. In fact, the man has come around to Des Moines, and she came looking for a fight. And Nia says, you know why we never fought? It's because they're afraid of what I'll do to you. Face it, you're the moneymaker of this company. If we faced off, that would end. Look at you. You're the size of one of my legs. I'd literally squash you and break your face all over again. Do you really want that? Becky says, you're right about one thing. I am the moneymaker. It's because I'll fight anyone, anytime, anywhere. It isn't them preventing this. It's you. Your entire existence has been on the back of someone else's name. First is your cousin's. Now it's mine. While I go down as the greatest to ever do it, you'll only ever be the one who broke the nose of the greatest to ever do it. You don't want this because then it goes away. There's just a person who lost, but to the greatest to ever do it. Want to prove me wrong? Fight me right here, right now. And Nia says, get a ref out here. She does the old thing where she goes to the ring, but then Nana backs off and says, seeing how badly you want this, you're not getting it. This will happen on my terms. Day one in my hometown of San Diego. So after I break your face and you're laid up in the hospital with your daughter, she's going to ask, Mommy, why are you uglier than usual? And then this is bold. She turns around, turns her back, and starts walking up the ramp talking hella shit.
Yeah.
And so Becky runs after her, jumps on her back, starts throwing some hands, and then Nia hits a cheap shot. Nia walks up the ramp.
Yep. Then earlier in the day, we see Kofi Kingston dressed up as Santa Claus, Kofi Claus, wearing some Kobe 6 Protros. The new ones just dropped. Awesome looking shoes.
Mm-hmm.
Starts handing out.
You getting the Anthony Edwards?
Oh, they're showing up today, man.
When you get them, can you please take a video and send a video?
Can
you please send a video?
Yeah, I'll send a video.
I'll be texting all day. Send a video.
They haven't showed up yet.
You know what you got to do. You got to hit up UPS. Hey, do you have a video of my shoes? Send a video.
Yeah, I know. Hey, UPS, send a video. So he's throwing merch ringside. We go backstage. He's there. Comes up to DIY. Asks what they want for Christmas. They say the tag titles instead. He gives John a Yeet shirt.
John.
And walks off. DIY sees the Miz warming up. Miz says, we are. He sings the theme. We are DIY.
Another couple of dudes who are having too much fun. I don't like that.
See, Gargano could have fun. Ciampa, no. Ciampa needs to be grumpy, needs to be surly, needs to be miserable.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
That's the Ciampa I want to see on my television.
See, I don't like that. Now you get to dictate who gets to have fun and who doesn't get to have fun, Lars. I don't like that.
What are you going to do about it?
You're having too much fun dictating who gets to have fun, Larson.
What are you going to do about it? I got to dictate who has fun and who doesn't. Guess what, Steve? You're not having fun the rest of the day.
I'm not having fun the rest of the day?
No fun for Steve.
You bastard.
I'm going to have fun. I'm going to have some basketball shoes show up and shoot a video with them.
Hey, when you shoot that video, send a video.
I'll send the video. So then they talk with the Miz. DIY does. Ciampa declares it awesome. I don't like that. Ciampa shouldn't think anything's awesome except living in a box truck. You know what I mean?
Yeah, no. You and I agree on that one.
So Jackie walks up for an interview with The Miz. He says, a couple weeks ago, I said we won't know who Gunther is until he is at the bottom of the mountain. Well, that boulder sure is unsturdy. Gunther is reeling. Imperium is crumbling. The man who was only an entertainer pushed him to the brink. Tonight I finished what I started, become a 9-time Intercontinental Champion. Miz looking to finish his story. You ask if there's pressure. Ask the guy who doesn't want to face me again if there's any pressure. So as music hits, he walks to the ring. Go to commercial, come back. Gunther. He comes to the ring too.
Ooh, boy. What
Banger.
a match. This is, as the kids say, as you just said, a banger of a
You know,
match.
if Bryan Danielson didn't wrestle in 2023, like if he decided I'm not wrestling anymore,
yeah.
Gunther would probably be, I don't know about a shoo-in, but really near the top as far as my wrestler of the year.
Yeah. I don't disagree with that. That might mean.
I mean, for me, it's Danielson, it's Gunther, and it's Swerve. Those are the top three wrestlers.
I'd probably put
in
MJF in there, but yeah.
Yeah, MJF's high up there too. Yeah.
Hey, you know what I was thinking about? Because we're going to do like the wrestlers who had the worst 2023.
Yeah.
We should just put Bullet Club in there. Because man,
hard times for Bullet Club over in New Japan.
Hard times, baby, hard times.
You know, Bullet Club Gold had like a good month and a half period where they're like, oh, this is fun. They're obviously having a blast together.
Right, yeah, it was like 45
They're doing
days
what they
on.
could to revive the Bullet Club name, but then once the Continental Classic started, it's like they can't be together because it's not fitting into the rules of the tournament.
Yeah, right, yeah. So
no card blade
now. Yeah,
no guns,
card
no
blade.
Juice.
Juice, I think, is injured, isn't he?
Oh, yeah, you're right.
I think he's injured. So, like, yeah.
But no opportunities to show off their chemistry, their charisma, which is that's the deal, though. That's the deal. We want to see them together, joke around.
But like even Bullet Club Prime, you got like Finley being their champion is sort of landing as a big their
no
leader
hype
rather,
whatsoever.
not champion. Yeah, it's just a big fart, Anyways, yeah, this match was fucking awesome, and Miz hit Gunther with like a lot of shit, including a super avalanche skull crushing finale.
Yeah.
But he couldn't get. First, he was selling, coming down from the avalanche and all the punishment he took earlier. So it took him a second to get that pin, and then when he's trying to get the pin, Gunther just started rolling his ass out of the ring. And there was some stuff going on the outside there. Gunther gets in as soon as Miz runs in the ring. He gets his ass power bombed. Rainmaker power bomb. You're done, Miz. Can't challenge for the IC title again until Gunther loses that thing to Kazuchika Okada at WrestleMania 40.
Yep. Now, this is a story we've seen play out in Gunther matches before, where someone tries to neutralize his chopping hand.
Mm-hmm, yeah.
In this instance, he chops the ring post and Miz is working it. Here's the thing. Gunther is about more than chops. There's more to his game than just being able to chop the hell and turn people's chest in the hamburger.
Dude, this guy's got a plan B, plan C, plan D, plan E, plan
Remember that
F.
finisher he was testing out for a couple months? Last Symphony, I think it was called.
What did it look like again?
It was like an Emerald Flosion or something like that.
Oh, yeah.
Kind of like side Michinoku driver type deal.
Oh, dude.
Yeah, he busted that out in a while. He's still winning everything.
Yeah. Man, he's got some shit loaded up, ready to go, man. What comes next? Now that in a very quick, it was Nature Fiend here in our Twitch chat says Triple H deserves Booker of the Year for how quickly he got Miz over. Where does Miz go from here? Now that he is out of, dude, Vince McMahon had that guy in jail for the longest time just by virtue of how he used him. It was so one-dimensional, and you can see what Miz brings to the table when they allow him to take that one good promo he does every year and expand on that in a meaningful way.
Yeah.
What could be next for Miz? He's a good guy. People like him. I feel like he's the kind of good guy who's really good at exposing the bullshit of bad guys.
Yeah.
And although that wasn't really the case here, it was just like, hey, I'm going to challenge Gunther and have really good fucking matches to build up my credibility. He's always had that thing. Like you and I, we always loved the feud with him and Maurice versus John Cena and Nikki Bella because like Miz and Maurice, their relationship's on terra firma. Oh, and you could tell John Cena and Nikki Bella, man, I don't know, that might have been for the cameras or something, but they called that one out, and we really liked that feud for the Miz and Maurice.
Yep.
That's just one sort of example. When he called out Daniel Bryan, that's the one promo everybody turns to for the Miz.
Yeah.
That being said, what would be a good feud for Miz after this? Not a guy like, I don't like a feud like with a guy like Drew McIntyre, who's a heel that is making really good points. You know what I mean? Like he's a heel with good reason to be.
Yeah.
Who's a guy that Miz could call out on a shit?
A lot of people here in chat are mentioning Nakamura.
That could work.
After Nakamura,
I could see that.
Cody
Another good match guy too. If you want Miz to continue a role of having just good matches, that could be interesting.
Or is it Nakamura and Cody having a match at Day One too?
Yeah, that's when their next match is going to happen.
Loaded card.
That is a loaded card, yeah. And that's a a simple feud, nothing, no titles on the line, but they got the meat of it with like, hey, I wanted to finish my story too, And then he calls like Dad inbred.
You can't now. Gosh, I wasn't expecting that.
I was not expecting that either, man.
Wow, going for the throat was not holy moly. So after that, we get a Creed video package. And to end this, Julius is doing some push-ups with Brutus on his back, and then Brutus squatting Julius. Steve, do you think you could squat me?
Oh, God, no. No, I did my first leg day in years last week at the gym.
Oh, how'd that go?
My legs really hurt afterwards.
What did you do?
Oh, just a bunch of the machines.
Oh, right. Some leg presses.
Yeah, right. We're starting off
curls,
on machines. We'll get to the
quad extensions.
Right. Yeah, that stuff. Yeah, exactly. Yeah. But no, I'd like to think I'm going to get there. We've been going to the gym. Like last week, we went to the gym 4 days. This week, we're hoping to do 5. So yeah, Lacey and I we're trying to get in shape, man. Longevity,
Exactly.
Cybernetics aren't really where they need to be.
Well, they're not going to, Steve. They're not going to in our lifetime,
bro. Boston Dynamics, they're going to be hooking up new arms, new legs, new everything.
Dude, their robots were walking into doorways. I don't have a whole lot of hope in that.
Well, baby steps. Baby steps.
Anyways, we're backstage. Gunther is walking up Imperium like, hey, good job, Gunther. And Gunther says, as I understand, you two have no reason to be jolly and celebrating. I'm the only one contributing to this. The whole last year for you was a complete write-off, so as I deserve it, as a legendary champion I am, I'm going on vacation. I'm stepping away for a few weeks to recharge. You two stay here. I expect you to grind. I expect you to work and impress me.
Myself and Ginny are going to Greece, going to the Mediterranean.
Yeah. Going to Crete, maybe.
What's that? Yeah, there you go.
Go to Crete.
Going to Crete.
Crete is lovely.
Yeah, I'm going to powerbomb some Cretians. Yeah, so he talks shit to his guys because they're losers. Then Kofi Claus comes up to them, and Kaiser's like, I don't have time for this. Pack up your little gifts and get out of here. Kofi laughs at him and says, hold on a minute. Just because Gunther put you on the naughty list doesn't mean you got to take it on everyone. I got you something. You got him a lump of coal. That was funny.
That was. And Kofi was laughing about it. It was great.
Yeah, so they both get in Kofi's face. Kofi gets a little serious. Like, you got to be nice all year round. Or they get mad at him. Kaiser's like, I don't have time for this. They leave. And then Kofi's like, you got to be nice all year round. So then we get Shinsuke Nakamura. He's got a Christmas setting. And he's reading An American Nightmare Before Christmas book with Cody's logo, rocking a Santa hat. He slowly pulls the book down to reveal a big smile. He opens it up. It pans out to show.
Felt like very much like a thing they would book in the Vince era.
Yeah, it did.
But then after he read the story, it took a turn.
The punchline was great. So it's the American. So it says here's the actual thing. He says, "'Twas the week before Christmas, and out from my mouth came a warning to Cody that Shinsuke would pounce. While your daughter is nestled all snug in her bed, and visions of championships dance through your head. Shinsuke is plotting to live out your story, to ruin your plans and extinguish your glory. The nightmare is over. The nightmare is through. The mist burns its eyes, for the nightmare is you. You bastard, you cancer, you prancer, you nitwit. You're vomit, you're stupid. Your father was inbred. My goal is to see that you're living in fright. Merry Christmas to you. I will be your last fight." He speaks some Japanese, and Cody's had enough. He finds that dude in his video package, and he attacks, because this is a straight-up video package. There's like cool comic book looking illustrations to go along with it.
It's from the Nakamura package like a week or two ago.
Yeah. Right. Yeah. And so like it looks pre-produced, but then Cody shows up and he attacks him, and then they end up brawling towards ringside. He clears off an announce table. Security tries to escort Shinsuke away because he had laid him out. But then Cody gets in the ring, hits a suicide dive on everybody, including Shinsuke, slams him into the table, drags him up. He goes for a crossroads, but security drags him away. Nakamura rolls out to the ramp, and Cody's like, "We're not done!" Yeah, that was good. That was good stuff.
It definitely took a turn there.
It really did. Your father was impressed.
Not expecting that.
Wow. Yeah,
not expecting that. So we're backstage. Adam Pearce is with Akira Tozawa. Pearce says, "I ask you this because I respect you. Is this the match you want?" Tozawa says, "Let's do it." So Chelsea and Piper walk in, and Chelsea says, "You haven't answered my calls all week. You can't make us defend our titles tonight. Wait, since it's the holiday season, maybe you can see in your little heart enough to cancel it." And Pierce says, "You're right. It is the holidays, so no. And your match is next, so screwed your way to the ring."
Mm-hmm. Yeah. And then
Bronson Reed walks in. It's like, "Hey, I hear you got Intercontinental title plans. Let's talk."
Pierce should have been like, "Yeah, you're not part of them. You already lost to Gunther."
Yeah, you lost to Gunther at least once.
Yeah. And then Piper Niven and Chelsea Green take on the Party Girls, Katana Chance and Caden Carter.
Man, I didn't know you had soured so much on the concert goer gimmick.
They're very I'll say this. They are very creative in the ring. They spent way too much time in NXT. Fucking hate this gimmick. It's so one-dimensional.
Oh, it is.
It's almost vocational, man.
It almost is. Our job is fun.
Yeah, right, exactly.
But here's the thing. If my job was fun, I'd probably brag about it a shit ton too, Steve.
And our job is fun. We sit here for an hour and talk pro wrestling with our best friend.
Our job isn't literally fun.
I'll be honest with you. This
fun
job's a lot more fun than just going to the goddamn music festival. That seems like misery. Porta potties, $8 water bottles, Larson.
Dude, one of my greatest feats in life, and there's not many, is I went to Coachella one year, and I managed to balance my water intake, so I only had to use a porta potty once.
And that's impressive. It really is. It really is.
I was probably severely dehydrated, but I was like, I ain't using those porta potties. These things nasty.
Dude, even the one when we were out playing basketball last 2 weeks ago, and there was one nearby, I was like, man, I don't want to drive a minute. Literally, my house is a minute drive away. I don't want to go all the way. There's a place I can pee. I should have just gone in the friggin' bushes. But then with my luck, if I try to pee in bushes, even in the most secluded area, some dude's going to be walking by. I don't need that in my life.
No, you don't need that.
And then, there was, it was so disgusting. Porta potties are,
Nothing is worse in terms of the world of porta potties than a music festival porta potty. It's the most disgusting thing there is.
It's literally like gross. Just a prison of shit. It's just,
really
it's horrible.
Consider yourself lucky if the fecal matter is confined to the actual porta potty. Very often it's not.
Okay, we got to stop. People might be eating during this. Come on, we got to stop. Khalib says for the $2, says Steve the Boomer hates fun. Yeah, they're just, if that's your only thing, yeah, I'm not into it. I don't like it. And the crowd went mild for this win, by the way, because Chelsea Green's doing such work. I do have a theory, though. I do think that the Party Girls are transitional. I think maybe they wanted to.
Kyrie.
Piper and Chelsea, and Piper especially as a character, has come alive so much more with Chelsea Green.
Yeah,
it's the power of Chelsea Green.
Yeah,
that they are so good as a team. Maybe they're protecting them, and I actually don't believe this theory, but it's the only thing I can think of. And the Party Girls are going to lose bad to the Kabuki Warriors.
That's entirely possible.
I think
you don't know if they'd want Kyrie and Asuka, a heel team, losing to or winning the tag titles against another heel team.
Yeah, maybe that's
entirely possible. It's a transitional champion type deal. Yeah,
yeah, I could see that being the case, and I hope it is.
And yes, I agree. Their gimmick is one dimensional, but I'm happy that an established tag team that's been a team for a number of years won the tag titles.
It's good to see them be rewarded in this way because they have done a lot of work for a lot of time unrecognized.
Mm-hmm.
But goddamn, can you get them just a modicum of dimension to their characters?
I know. No, that I agree with. I have no problem with. Hey, we love to have fun.
Yeah, and on a dude, obviously part of this is me joking because it's the show, and we got to try to be entertainers here. But so I do appreciate their work. They are incredibly clever and creative in the ring. I really do enjoy their work. But yeah, just people who go to festivals, that's not a gimmick for me, man. That's not a gimmick for me.
Yeah, there is a downside to that. You're in the gimmick. If your gimmick is going to music festivals, you're in the sun all day.
Well, I want to see that aspect of it.
That's what I'm saying.
Yeah, right.
It isn't all just fun.
Right. Show them going into the porta potty.
Yeah.
And then coming out and be like, oh my God.
Open the door. Oh, ain't using that one. Got to go back, wait in line.
Oh gosh. Yeah, nothing. I've realized that nothing triggers me like just the concept of a porta potty.
Yeah, I know. Whoever thought the idea of an outhouse and making it portable was a great idea. Because at least an outhouse, you dig a hole in the ground, it goes in the hole.
Yeah, right. Yeah, but even outhouses, like the idea. I'd never last in the 1800s.
No, you would.
Like even the early anything before. Like I'm a man of my times.
Anytime before indoor plumbing, you'd be like, nope.
Honestly, how I survived before even 1990 is shocking to me. You know,
I mean, yeah.
Like before we had to use MapQuest at some point before phones. How did I exist before the iPhone?
Remember printing off maps?
Yeah, I do remember that. You know, yeah. I was like, what the fuck? Where am I going here? Yeah, they used to use Rand McNally's guidebook
Atlas.
To get the Atlas. Yeah, exactly. Local atlases.
I was such a nerdy kid that my dad had several Rand McNally's or just maps.
Yeah, right.
I would just sit down and go through there.
Yeah.
Study maps.
What is this you're doing here?
Flipping through the pages.
This is how you flip through the pages. You have like an action figure hand.
Yeah. Maybe I had an action figure in my hand. You think you're so smart. I had Duke from G.I. Joe flipping the pages for me.
I'm a computer.
So anyways, yeah, Chelsea and Piper lost this. Carter and Chance, they hit the cake stand at one point. The Green kicks out. She's looking for an unprettier. Carter blocks, hits a code breaker. Chance tags in. They hit the after party. They win. New champs. We'll see how long they have these titles.
Whenever the Kabuki Warriors get their number one contender match in, then you know that's happening. With the next confrontation, and it's going to be with ease. So fresh here, says Katana and Caden really catching strays by Steve, man. I'm sorry, dude. But look, I said my piece. I really love what they do in the ring. But man, yeah, that gimmick. Oh boy. No fun for me. Anyways, backstage, Ivy's warming up as the Academy cheer her on. Those are also people who are having a little too much fun for my liking.
The Academy?
Yeah, the Academy and Ivy and the Diamond Mine guys.
When do you become such a curmudgeon? Let people have fun.
I don't know. Look who my best friend is. You know, at some point you're going to rub off on me, man. Oh man.
I'm not the one here. I'm not the one
I
here.
love when I throw the little bomb out and it takes a second.
The one here hating on people having fun. I don't hold it against anybody who has fun.
Oh, I don't know. Yesterday, you seemed like you held everything against the entire world.
That's a different circumstance.
Completely.
That's my own personal
And
thing.
you blame it on your poor dog, too? I was like, dude, why are you in such a bad mood today? My dog woke me up, guys.
My dog got up at 2:30 yesterday in the morning. Not yesterday. Yeah, yesterday, I guess. Because she had tummy issues, and then woke up again at 4:30.
Yeah. Oh, that's all good. It's all good. You go back to sleep.
No, it's not good.
Just go back to sleep. This one's been doing it since 2012, man.
Getting up in the middle of the night to go shit?
Yeah, she does that quite a bit, actually. Yeah. I'm different than you, though. I think you don't get back to sleep very easily, do you?
Easily, no.
I do. I have a running joke with Lace. Like, as soon as I hit the bed, within 2 minutes, I'm out. I'm one of those people. Yeah.
No. Because here's the thing. It's like, this is the third time that happened with the dog this week that I'm anticipating. That's the problem, is I'm anticipating the next time it happens.
Yeah.
And it's because I'm anticipating it, I can't relax.
Mm-hmm. Oh, yeah. See,
that's
every little thing. Yeah, we're just different. Anyways, so Ivy says, I'm ready for Rhea. No, you're not. She says, I heard what she said earlier, and that's why I asked for a match with Rhea. My goal for 2024 is to be the new women's world champion. I got to go, though. My boys need me. And then she walks off. Tozawa comes in and says, I got a match tonight. Gable's like, with who? And it was like, him. And then Ivar and Valhalla walk in. Ivar laughs. They walk off, and Gable's like, when I said go big in the new year, I didn't mean that big. And Tozawa says, I understand. Arigato. And then he does the nasty and struts off. Backstage, the party girls are mobbed by the other women in the division. They're congratulating him. Kofi Claus walks up, says, what do you guys want for Christmas? And Chance is like, I think we got everything we wanted right here. Then he laughs and walks off, says, proud of y'all. They go off to party except for Shayna and Zoe and Tegan and Natalia. Natty's like, now we've got new champs. We need new challengers. And Shayna says, that's what I was thinking. And they awkwardly stare at each other for a couple seconds as we fade out.
Then we got Ivar versus Tozawa. Man, Tozawa is such a fun wrestler.
Oh, my gosh. He's ridiculously
He's so good.
Fun.
So crisp in the ring.
Yeah.
Everything he does looks awesome. As expected, though, he loses this, unfortunately. He does hit the top rope senton. Ivar kicks out. Ivar hits a spinning kick, goes for a moonsault. Tozawa trips him up off the top, so Ivar gets crushed over the top turnbuckle. Tozawa's looking for an enziguri, then goes for a Hurricane Rana, but Ivar blocks it, and then hits a World's Strongest Slam off the top rope to get the win.
Oof, yeah. Yeah, good match, really good match with these two.
It was a really good match.
And
then we got a video package for CM Punk's decision. The decision. Taking his talents to Monday Night Raw.
Yeah, man.
And then the subsequent confrontation with Seth. And then we got Seth Rollins coming out for a promo. Steve, would you like to play the role of Seth Rollins, or would you like to be Drew McIntyre?
I would like to be Drew McIntyre today, sir.
All right, I will be performing the role of Seth Rollins.
Because, again, in keeping with the theme of this episode, Seth is having a lot of fun. Drew, not so much.
Yeah. So Seth comes to the ring. He was dressed like Grinch colors. He had the lime green, the Volt outer shirt, and then the red undershirt.
Maybe, yeah, it was portending things to come.
Yes, very Grinch. So he grabs the mic, says, "Des Moines, welcome to Monday Night Raw." Says his catchphrase, continues, says, "Des Moines, things around here have heated up for this Iowa boy. After my little confrontation last week, I was feeling more motivated than I ever have to continue to be the best world champion in this industry. You thought 2023 was something? Wait until you see what we do in 2024. That starts at day one when I defend against Drew McIntyre. Say what you will. At Crown Jewel, he gave me..."
And then Drew's music interrupts. He makes his way down. Seth lays down the title, gets ready for a fight. And then,
before you open your mouth,
yeah,
don't forget that headbutt from a few weeks ago, so tread lightly.
Yeah, so Drew says, "I'm not here to fight. We have our match set. I'm here to say I'm proud of you, Seth. There's so many people turning a blind eye, kissing arse with CM Punk, but not you. You told him the truth exactly how it needed to be said, and that is a real leader." He says, "Look at you, on top of the world champion. You're in front of basically your hometown singing your song." Crowd sings a song. "Feels good, doesn't it? You get to go home, spend it with your family." So recently I talked about my family, and when I went home, I started to see things I didn't like as much. I started to feel guilt. I saw my family getting older. After 16 years, I asked if it's worth it. This is something I felt you couldn't relate to, but you can. There's someone in your household who did the same thing as me, came halfway across the world for a dream, sacrificing every week in that family time. You've been a part of those hard conversations. I wish I could make the wedding, but the fans need me. When a family member or parent gets sick, our mom, our dad, all we want is to be beside them and holding their hand while they go through it. They tell us, "Don't you dare come home. Chase that dream." And he's getting emotional here.
Yeah.
He says, "That's what we did, but suddenly they aren't there anymore." He says, "Look me in the," because Seth is looking down. He says, "Look me in the eye, Seth. I don't want your title. I need your title. I need the validation. I need to know these sacrifices were worth it. I have to know the hurt I caused if it was for nothing, and I'm willing to hurt you for everything."
So Seth, while Drew was talking about his family, he seemed sympathetic at the moment, but once he turned it around, Seth says, "Drew, here's the thing. We don't know how to feel entirely about you. Say that, and I want to take it to heart, but your actions and words lately haven't matched up." They kind of have, Seth.
Yeah.
I see a pretty consistent through line with Drew McIntyre here. So anyway, Seth continues. "So I don't know whether to believe you or call you on your crap, but I respect you. After Crown Jewel, you said you were going to come back, find a way to get another shot, and you did that. But I want to know, as much as you need this, what makes you think the outcome is any different this time? You say you do whatever it takes, or you're not the same person. You're willing to cheat and lie and take shortcuts. Yeah, you changed in that regard, but in many ways, you're the same. You want to shift the blame. You'll do whatever it takes, right? You'll do everything except the one thing you need to be a champion. Take responsibility for your actions. Look in the mirror and face the hard truth. The only person keeping Drew McIntyre from being world champion is Drew McIntyre. I stood in this ring last week and told a man I hated him. I meant that. I'm looking at you, and I don't hate you. I pity you." Again, that's what Hangman told CM Punk. "I don't hate you. I almost pity you," is what Paige said. And then Seth continues, "Merry Christmas. See you in a couple weeks." So he starts to leave. And Drew grabs him, turns him around. Seth avoids, hits him with a super kick and a suicide dive. So Rollins is hitting him with some punches. Drew throws him off and hits the inverted Alabama slam onto the ring steps.
Yeah.
Seth is holding his arm. Drew walks off.
Yeah. Oh, man. That was good stuff from Drew McIntyre. And Seth really coming off like kind of a prick there.
Yeah, I know.
So, dude, I know that there's a number of. I still kind of think that it's going to be Seth Rollins versus CM Punk for the title at WrestleMania, but WrestleMania is a way off.
It is.
Any chance Drew McIntyre has a short run with the title? In terms of like sort of most likely the landscape, what we're looking at, obviously they're putting their marketing dollars into Punk versus Rollins. That's sort of what it seems is the case.
Yeah.
I feel like it's, in my opinion, let me ask it. In my opinion, it's more likely that Drew McIntyre somehow wins at day one the title than CM Punk winning at WrestleMania.
Yes.
Do you agree with that?
Here's the thing. You can still do Seth and CM Punk and not have it be for the title. Because I still feel like having Punk roll in November and get a Mania, even night one main event, you could tell more of a story there. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
It worked. See how it worked for Cody last year, not finishing his story at WrestleMania.
Mm-hmm.
So you can have Seth versus Punk still not in the main event of night one. Either have Rhea and Becky main event. I don't know if Drew wins the title between now and Mania, who his opponent would be. Who knows? And then next year at 41, you spend the whole year telling the story. Maybe we get heel Punk. He gets desperate to get that moment. You could do Cody Punk as main event for Mania next year.
You know, Patrick Oliva says this here. Can you see CM Punk costing Rollins the title? What if each man costs each other what they desire most? What if CM Punk is responsible for Seth Rollins losing his title to Drew McIntyre? And what if Seth Rollins in return robs CM Punk of his main event of WrestleMania this year?
Well, here's the thing.
Which is the Rumble.
It would actually behoove CM Punk to make sure Seth retains the title, because that's the clearest path to a main event at night one. Not
if he thinks he's going to win the Rumble. The Rumble's the clearest path to main eventing night one.
Yeah.
Or night two. You can do whatever you want.
Yeah, main event.
Once you win the
Rumble.
Rumble.
I'm just saying, we all know Cody's going to win the Rumble probably and whatever. But you think if Seth was, yeah.
If Seth costs, because Punk thinks the Rumble is the surest bet to main event. Seth costs him that because Punk costs him at day one.
That's possible.
I could see that as being a possibility. I would be surprised if they didn't do Rollins Punk for the title this year, but I mean, you could do it away from. We talked about that before. You still have Damian Priest with that briefcase. You could say, Priest, I'm cashing it. The problem is, see, I'll be honest with you. I know you referred to the Seth title as a consolation prize. I think for me, and I understand why you say that. To me personally, the intrigue right now is squarely with Seth's title. I think he has built that title, and they have built the storylines to make that title, to me, the most interesting one. Roman's got he's got what they call, he's on the road to the Bruno run, right? He's the closest thing we have to a Bruno, to a Hogan, etc.
Yeah.
And so he is that. So that title is always going to main event those pay-per-views. But for my money, the intrigue is with that title. And I think that he has built that title up to be on par with what I want to see, regardless of WWE market.
No, I understand all that. But when I and that's partially tongue in cheek that I'm referring to the consolation title, because that's how WWE approaches the booking of that in relation to the other belt. Literally says undisputed on it.
The marketing dollars are behind the Roman title.
Yes.
Yeah.
So it's booked. It's viewed seemingly internally within WWE as the secondary world title.
Now, the thing is, though, here's the thing about it. If you do Seth versus Punk away from the title, Drew and Priest or whoever, if Priest is smart, he'll say, I'm going to do this at WrestleMania. This is my shot. This is you want a sure shot? I don't know that. Well, I mean, I guess, Kevin Owens and Stone Cold main event at night one 2 years ago.
Oh, if as far as what's going to main event night one, it'll be Becky and Rhea. That'll main event night one.
Yeah. But then you're turning that World Heavyweight Championship into essentially a Mania mid-card title.
Yeah.
Which, they referred to the WWE title as they had 3 main events go throughout WrestleMania in 2019. So,
yeah.
If they make it a big deal, they'll make it a big deal.
Yeah.
But yeah, I don't know. It'll be interesting how this shakes out. I'd love to see Drew get that title, though, especially.
Oh, I would too.
I think there is some amount of sense with that. But yeah, that'd be cool. Drew versus Damian Priest.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Maybe Priest gets to the point where he's like, I gotta prove my standing within Judgment Day, and I can't just do the opportunistic cash in. And like Rhea's like, no, don't. You already lost to Drew. Don't just book a match with them.
Yeah.
You know.
I mean, the idea could be, especially if we're getting like a more of a face Priest, maybe. The idea could be, well, what's my worth if I can't beat a guy straight up?
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
So anyways, again, the Creeds killing me right here. Cody walks up to the Creeds. He's like, hey, guys, thanks for the save last week. He wishes them luck. And then he leaves. And they start, like, marking out, oh, my God, it was Cody Rhodes.
It's like you every episode.
I'm not a wrestler in WWE. If I was a wrestler, I wouldn't be doing that child impersonation. I'd be like, hey, man, how's it going?
You would in the locker room around the other wrestlers, but not around Cody.
Wait, say again? No, I wouldn't be doing that.
You would in the locker room. You cracked that joke around other wrestlers.
Do you think I do the child thing in front of other wrestlers?
Yeah, in the locker room. I'm sure Cody has his own locker room, but all the other guys.
I'd be like the Miz. They'd throw me out. They'd be like, this guy's really weird.
Yeah, well, this guy's...
I don't get it. It's child impersonation?
How'd this guy get this job?
Yeah, I'd be asking myself the same thing. So anyways, they all freak out over Cody. Oh, my God, it's Cody Rhodes. Anyways, and then Kofi comes up. He makes his way to the ring, gives gifts to fans. Kaiser and Vinci run down. They attack him. They rip his hat and beard off. Vinci lays in punches. Jey Uso's music hits, and he's got the blurry Yeet shirt. And I'm just confused at that point because I thought the same as you. I was like, do they have some sort of new tech? Is this like some sort of AI where they could blur things in the moment?
I know, real-time blurring.
So he takes them out and checks on Kofi. Jey says to Kaiser, I want you in the ring, pretty boy. Let's go. And then we have that match, Jey Uso versus Ludwig Kaiser. Jey Uso gets a much-needed win here against Ludwig Kaiser. And with an Uso
it's
splash.
Good that Jey came out to make the save for Kofi. You know, the Usos played such a pivotal role in Kofi Mania a few years back.
It makes sense. They're bonded.
Sense.
They have the bond. Yeah.
They have the bond, exactly. And it's great to see that. And Kofi helping Jey get the win here. Taking out Vinci ringside so Jey can hit a spear on Ludwig. Follows with the Uso splash to get the win.
Yep.
It's always good to see. Then we're backstage and dogs barking. JD is sulking about the loss.
I love this little tiny dog who I know you love so much is becoming the bane of your existence.
You know, she's a puppy. She's only 7 months old.
Yeah.
No, I understand. There's a learning process here.
You think that they're gonna change. They don't change.
No. You know what? Was Zoe when she was a puppy, she was crazy.
Yeah, right. Yeah.
She was a crazy puppy. And then when she got like 3 years old, she was a lump.
Yeah.
She slept 20 hours a day, you know?
Well, yeah, that's what this one's doing now. But when she's up, man, oh, man.
So anyways, the Priest and Dom and Finn, they're all just kind of mocking JD for the loss. And Dom says, it could be worse. Remember when Randy RKO'd you off the cage? Or when Priest picked you up by your neck?
Oh, my God. Yeah, that was great.
And Rhea walks in and, you know, she means business, says enough. Mm-hmm. When any of us lose, it reflects badly on all of us. And Priest stops laughing for a moment and says, you're right, but he lost. He turns to JD and goes, you're out, man. And JD says, truth isn't even in Judgment Day. You can't make the stipulations. The Priest goes, well, you can around here? And Rhea, again, the voice of reason, says, Priest. Priest says, well, say what you want to say. And JD says, like, oh, please don't kick me out of the group. And then the Priest says, well, you're obviously still on Judgment Day for now. And then Rhea says, let's get serious for a second. We need to make an example of anyone who thinks they can step to us. Ivy wants to fight. I'll one-up her. I went to Pierce, and I'm going to defend the belt at Day One. I'll deal with Ivy tonight. It's about you two. Finn's like, yeah, we're going to hold on the titles. He and Priest walk off. And then Rhea pushes JD down.
Yeah.
He has to stay in the clubhouse.
Yep, he's in the clubhouse.
And then we got our main event.
Yeah, then we had our main event, the Creed Brothers versus Judgment Day. Really, really good stuff. It's just they got to get rid of the Brutus bomb, and he can't be kicking out at 2.99999 there with Priest finish, man.
So let me ask you this. I wouldn't think, but I could be wrong, Julius would go into business for himself kicking out. Was it a miscommunication? Did he think he was supposed to kick out and not?
I think this is my pure speculation. I would not think in a million years these days anybody really is going to, especially dudes who just got called up, are going to go into business for themselves. Take that off the table. Yes. There's no way Julius Creed is unprofessional in that way. Not at all. I honestly think in the moment, maybe he just got a little maybe lost in the moment. You know, a mental error can happen very, very easily. You know, that ref counts 3. I don't know if maybe he thought, I don't know if maybe in his head he was like, you know, he got lost in the moment and didn't think that was the finish of the match. Or if it was a matter of, you know, he thought the ref counted 3 and he had planned to kick out at 3.5 or even 4, you know, like sometimes they do. And it just ended up being a lot closer than he had anticipated.
Yeah.
But yeah, I don't know. Maybe it was something. Maybe he understood that Brutus bomb didn't go great, and he heard Priest talking to the ref about it, and that messed him up a little bit. I think a mental error probably is much more likely than him, like way more likely than him going into business.
Let me ask you this. Maybe what if it was speculation here? What if it's a situation where the story they wanted to tell was the Creeds just barely lost, and the idea is that he would kick out after the 3 was called, but not as
That's what
forcefully.
I was thinking. That's what I was thinking. Yeah, like maybe he was supposed to have like a little bit of a shoulder and maybe at like 3.3 as opposed to 2.9.
Yeah.
I think it was probably, you know, dude, this is one of those things about wrestling. It's a reason I never wanted to be a wrestler because I understood from the first moment I started watching this stuff, the mental, like you have to be so locked in to what you're doing.
The focus necessary to prevent injury from on a lot of fronts is
to prevent injury, to tell the story, to properly execute. There is no margin of error when it comes to pro wrestling. And that's why I could never do what these people do, and I have so much respect for them doing it. But you also understand that when there is a mental error in a main event of a title match, people are going to get mad.
Yeah.
You know, and Priest did not look happy with what happened. It just boils down to inexperience. You know, these guys just signed up 2 years ago.
Yeah.
And I know they've had plenty of matches in NXT. You're there in front of however many 12,000 people or whatever it was last night.
Yep.
And
bright lights, the main event. Yep.
Yeah, there might be, you know, and I almost guarantee it. He probably is kicking himself to this day. He probably had a hard time sleeping last night. He's probably not happy with himself, Julius Creed.
Yep.
And he'll no doubt learn about it or learn from it. I should say. Yeah.
All right, you want to answer some questions?
Yeah, man. Let's go ahead and answer some questions. And then Priest tossed him out of the ring, and it looked pretty forceful.
Yep. So we had a couple super chats here from Juan Villa. One saying, "Got to lay off the 420. Forgot to leave my question. How about Goldberg's theme in the battlefield? Will the aliens be scared as well?" So of course, you know, we're talking a lot over the last week or so about Bobby Lashley's theme.
Yeah. Right.
Boom, boom. Dun, 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 dun.
Oh no.
Especially yesterday about, you know, if there's an alien invasion in 2027, Lashley's music hits. Those aliens are on their ships back to whatever planet they just came from.
They're not messing around with Lashley. No, absolutely not.
No. But what about Goldberg?
He's old. 56 years old.
Yeah, I don't know if Bill Goldberg still has the aura that he did in his prime.
Here's the thing. You point that incinerator at Bill Goldberg, he's going to be incinerated. You point it at Bobby Lashley, you're going to eat a spear and a hurt lock.
Mm-hmm.
He ain't suffering no fools.
Nope.
Alien or otherwise.
Yep. The answer's no.
Carlos Diaz here says, what moves would you retire because they look rather funny instead of devastating? He's pointing out the brutal double axe handle that Cody punished Nakamura with. Brutal double axe handle. I hate the double axe handle. I hate it so much. I'm so glad he brought this up because that move looks so goofy. I've never seen a good one, man.
Yeah. No, I haven't either.
I'm sure maybe you could pull up some tape from the territories of some, like, you know, one of those old school wrestlers actually doling one out to a jobber, like for reals. But I don't know, man.
I don't know. Even if you bring down like the amount of force you'd have to bring down to do it like this to make it seem like it would actually like really be as impactful as a punch per se.
It looks stupid.
It just it doesn't look convincing as like a move that does actual any damage.
Give me another move. This is an on the spot question, but can you think of another move that looks silly instead of devastating?
I mean, it's pro wrestling. There's a lot.
I know, but so many moves I've bought into, like when I see Hogan's leg drop, yes, from like
leg drop's one.
I know it's silly, but like I'm just programmed to think that it looks devastating.
Oh, here's another one. Here's one.
Mm-hmm.
The leg DDT, where you grab someone's ankle and drive the bottom of their foot into the mat.
Oh, yeah, okay, yeah.
Like I don't really, I guess
What's
maybe
that
it
supposed
could
to do? Yeah, right.
Yeah, it's supposed if someone's working the leg, they'll do that. Like a dragon screw leg whip, they do that. I'm like, all right, that could twist it.
Oh, it looks like it hurts. I'll be honest with you.
Grab someone's ankle and DDTing their foot into the ground.
Half the Rainmakers I've seen. When Okada does them, I'm sort of half programmed to think, oh wow, Rainmaker, that looks like it hurts, but it kind of doesn't. And I'm like, oh, that's a weak Rainmaker. That I still don't buy too much.
Yeah. All right. Say Mark Cameron here in chat says any GTS. Watch Kenta do it in Japan.
Yeah, right. Yeah.
Yeah, he was. Yeah, he'll make you a believer in the GTS.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Ace Shock here in YouTube chat says, I think he's coming in late. Says, who's reported that MJF has not re-signed AEW? MJF.
MJF said it.
MJF has said it. Let's see here.
This is a good question from Andre Zimpel. If you guys were football players and used a wrestler's taunt or pose when you score a touchdown, whose would you use?
What a great question. I mean, I think that it would be the Batista Claudio combo.
Oh, that's good. Yeah.
We do the. Yeah,
that's good. That's good.
That's mine.
Yeah. People in chat have it.
Oh yeah, Randall Keith Thornton. There you go. That's good. That's good. Let's see here. So John Hosey asked a question about Drew and CM Punk Day One stuff. We sort of answered that. Samuel Raja says, was the men's tag finish a botch or a part of a storyline? I think it was a mental error. That's my personal opinion.
It's probably just a mistake.
Because I wonder if, because after Priest hit the choke slam, he did wait a second because he was still trying to get his head right to pin.
Yeah.
And maybe that pause, Creed was like, am I supposed to kick out? Maybe I'm supposed to kick out here.
That could be. Timor here asked, Caden and Katana have a gimmick of enjoying club music. If you two had a gimmick of enjoying something, what would that be? Steve would have a gimmick of enjoying Star Trek.
Well, yeah, that is, yeah. I know it wouldn't be. It'd be not enjoying porta potties.
Enjoying your home toilet.
Yeah, right, exactly.
It's like you have all these backstage segments where you're walking around and like, obviously, you got to poop.
I got to poop.
People are like, what are you doing? Why don't you use the bathroom? It's like, no, I can only do it at home.
I can only do it
it's
at
like,
home.
dude, you're 500 miles from home.
You're not going to be there for 3 days. I'm in bad way.
Bad way. You got a routine, like on the road. Like you intentionally give yourself road gut.
Yeah, right, yeah.
So you don't have to poop. And you get home and it's just all fiber and vegetables to clear yourself out. So the next time you're on the road.
Dude, you're a 12-year veteran. How have you been able to do this for this? I got a very strict
I got
routine.
a system.
Yeah, got a system. CKY Halo, combining two things that I think are absolutely amazing from like 2005. Yeah. Says, do you agree that Gunther is the perfect pro wrestler?
Gunther is the perfect heavyweight wrestler.
Okay.
In my mind, the perfect wrestler is equally adept at a variety of styles. I know we've seen Gunther do like a 619.
Yeah, dude.
So I would give the edge to Bryan Danielson because he can wrestle any style.
Man. Dude,
but as far as like a heavyweight,
honestly,
hard-hitting type wrestler, it doesn't get better than Gunther.
I'll be honest with you, man. And I love Danielson. I love him. when I think of like the perfect pro wrestler, I think of like, promos obviously as well.
Yeah.
To me, it's more because I think Gunther, I think you put him in there. I think he's, man, I don't know. I think he's like
I think Gunther could wrestle against anybody of a different style, but Gunther's going to wrestle like Gunther.
Yeah, but so much of what he does is so cool in the ring.
It is.
Like,
I'm
just
saying
Gunther straight up.
As a heavyweight wrestler, it doesn't get better than Gunther.
This is where I would give Danielson the advantage. In that Danielson, more than anybody, and this is such a weird, abstract, underrated thing, he has been able to find the cheat code for telling stories in the ring better than anybody else in a way that is compelling in any match he does. The match against Eddie Kingston in the Continental Classic, the match against Brody King the other day. This guy puts together the most entertaining in-ring matches I've ever seen. It's very reminiscent. It's sort of Okada Omega from 5 years ago, how it was the same way. It's like, oh my God, anything they do, it's not flashy. It's just really compelling. He knows the language of pro wrestling in the ring better than anybody else.
Yeah.
Gunther is up there, but Danielson has him beat on that level. In every other way, I think I prefer Gunther matches. But Danielson, I mean, for Danielson, that is everything,
Yeah. Yeah.
So I don't know. It's a weird thing. But like Gunther's promos, I love. God damn it, I love those promos so much.
He's good.
Danielson sort of laughs his way through promos these days.
Sometimes.
Like he sort of I actually kind of prefer Planet's Champion Daniel Bryan over Danielson these days.
Planet Champion Danielson was great.
I know, it was hilarious.
Fickle.
Impotent. Change it.
Justin Sider says, if you could only sign Okada or MJF, who do you sign?
Okada. There's plenty of time for MJF. Okada's 36. You do that now.
Yeah.
Okada Gunther at WrestleMania.
Yeah, it'd be great.
And you give him the dinosaur entrance.
Yeah. Yeah.
Cheese Man says, with Danielson retiring soon and Kenny in poor health, does AEW make a massive push to sign Okada or throw all eggs in the MJF basket? They have got a killer lineup of younger talent. Jay White, Swerve, Hangman, MJF. I'll be honest with you, man. Like, do they make a massive push to sign Okada? Of course you do. You should do that. But
I think you do that regardless of what's happening with Kenny or Danielson close to retirement or not.
They've got a killer lineup. They got Hobbs. They need to focus on building those guys up to that next level. They need to do that.
That's the more important thing.
Mm-hmm.
And they're bringing Ospreay in. So,
Chuck J here said, this is the last one I have, says, do you think Chance and Carter even make it to the Rumble with the titles? He says, I'm not seeing it. It was just time for a change. They'll make it to whatever event they've got the Kabuki Warriors against, and then the Kabuki Warriors win.
Yeah, probably.
Do they make it to the Rumble? Yeah, probably not.
Yeah, probably. Luis here says, would you guys do a rumor retrospective where you guys pick a random date and see if those rumors came to fruition? So Cage Side Seats does something like that. Like on a date on the calendar, they'll go back to, I don't know, the 6 or 8 or 12 months prior to see how previous rumors checked out.
I did that for a spill on Wrestle Juice, and it was fun. I think it'd be more fun for Friendo Club Wrestling, though, because I stopped doing that a while ago. But yeah, let's do that. I think that sounds like a great idea for a video.
Maybe our 2023 year in review video should strictly be, did rumors pan out?
There you go. Cool. That's all the questions I have. Do you have any more on the Patreon?
Let's see. One good last one. Oh, Nikyle, what is the reason why Seth Rollins is not selling his back more ever since Crown Jewel? Guess as good as mine.
I don't know, man. He was out there today, or last night rather, and no limping.
Seemed like his back was totally good.
Back was totally fine. Got to ask some questions about that. I don't know.
Yeah, maybe if we were going to those WB media scrums, we can be there and say, hey, Seth Rollins, how's your back doing? Oh, it's beat up. It's in horrible shape. So why aren't you selling it more?
I don't believe you.
Prove it.
Prove it. Let me see the evidence.
Yes, I want to see your MRI results. I want to see
Seth, I've done my own research. I think your back is fine. Anyways, that's going to do it for the show today. Thanks, everybody, for tuning in. We appreciate it. Until next time, we'll see you around.
Goodbye.
Help support Friendo Club by going to patreon.com/Steven Larson or clicking join at youtube.com/Steven Larson. Access to bonus episodes, question threads for the Going In Raw podcast, and entry to our monthly wrestling predictions challenges. Join the Friendo Club today.